everyone, and welcome to the fourth session of the game making course on Tabletopia that I do on Thursdays. So today is going to be a little bit different. I'm first going to just show you the play testing notes that I did at the start of the session, and then we're going to show you the recording of one of the students' games. Really, really good game. Very impressed. Very simple, but there's certainly a lot of complex things that you can probably do, or he's maybe going to integrate afterwards. There were some connection issues, but I'm going to cut that all out for you. And I'm also probably going to explain, I think, just the first round, just because after the second round, things started to go more smoothly and there were no connection issues afterwards anyway. I will say also that there were some points when his mic didn't work and then it did work. So yeah, so you'll after that point, after the second round, it started to go quite smoothly. Be really good just to see how I learn the game as I've been playing, and just to keep note that if you're making the game yourself, you know, do the same sort of process. You know, you could, his game was quite simple, so what he did is he was able to teach the game as we played, but there might be certain games, or your game, you might have to explain a little bit more before you start playing. So things to remember on your playtesting. So there's three different types of main playtesting. There's solo playtesting, which is basically what you should be doing before you play with anyone else, play with a group or whatever. And basically this allows you, like we've done previously on last week on my game, just to see how the game actually works, see if there's any issues. Can you do a few rounds by yourself? There's nothing big or major, just because you don't want to go straight into a group play and quickly noticing that, yeah, things aren't working. So make sure you sort those out by yourself first. Then you have group play testing, which is what we did, and the recording that we're going to show. We just played with just two. I think it was up to 2 teams, so you could have 2 other people. So it was 4 together, and there might be a possibility that you could have even more groups. So hopefully we might be able to show that as well. In this version of the game, play the game. If there's any small issues that come up, try to maybe either explain them or fix them as you, well, try to go through the game before, and then you can fix them afterwards, what I mean. If there's anything major, then of course you'll probably have to stop the game. And the final one is blind play testing. Now, with this one, you probably want to still view the people playtest, but you don't have any input. So this is a really good way where you've established solo gameplay testing, and it's good. You've done group play testing, and now you've done your rules. You're quite confident with how it's being read, and the mechanics all work. But still, things might come up that you might not know, and that's because, you know, you're not really fixing things as they carry on. Don't say anything if they have an issue with anything. Just because it's good learning experience. So what's the sort of circle that you should be doing on playtesting? Well, first of all is playtesting. Then you should review what has just been playtested, if it's solo, group, or blind. And then fix or improve any mechanics or points that you might have noticed. And keep on doing that circle until you're basically, are you happy with the game? You know, you could go around that circle forever, but it's good. It's important that once it's at a point where you know, it's only tiny little bits, you should probably go out that circle and then focus on other little bits, like improving the graphical side. So questions to ask when you're playtesting. You know, did everyone have fun? What bits did you enjoy, and what bits do you want to see more of? I think that's really important when you're doing a game, just to get that feedback. Also, it's really important to note what the person didn't like. If there was a mechanic that they really didn't, you know, disliked, and they didn't really want to have more of, and maybe if you agree with them, you can sort of reduce that. You should ask yourself, what points did people have with the game. If people had no points, then that's great. Add more mechanics, and then you can make it a little bit more complicated. If you start adding too many mechanics, then you probably want to scale back. Note down the length of the game as well. For this session, we kind of established that it should be around 15 to 25 minutes, 30 minutes. But at the end of the day, if your game is longer, then it should sort of include maybe the rules, explaining of the rules and playing the game. Yeah, so do that. And finally, you should ask yourself, is this the experience you wanted? Many people who play the game sort of try to fix things to make the game the way that they want to be played, whereas you kind of made the game, if, for example, the recording that we're going to do is a fighting game. If I start adding elements and stuff like, oh, why don't you have a board? Why don't you have this? Then it's quite different from the experience and the vision that you wanted to make the game. So keep that in mind. By all means, take the criticism and work on it, add on to it if you want to. You probably should as well. You get to choose if you want to take it on board, but at the end of the day, it's going to be people who are playing it. If they kind of go off the rails, and like I said, do the example of like a board game, then you probably don't want to add that on unless you really think it's a really good idea. But just keep that in mind. Is it the experience that you wanted? Right, so what I'm going to be doing is just doing a quick voiceover on what I did on the Thursday session, just because there were some connection issues, and also at the start Lloyd couldn't use his microphone. So what I'm doing is just placing my cards. He hasn't really explained anything yet, apart from draw 3 cards, so I've done that. Now, we actually did try this previously, but what I realized was these are exactly the same cards that I had drew last time. So if you remember on some of my last sessions, is if you actually draw the cards directly from the bottom bar onto the Tabletopia, it will be in that order, and what you need to do is you need to draw the random card. I don't know if you set that up or anything, but it's an easy fix because all you had to do, which you just saw me do, which was just do reshuffle. Now you'll see on my cards they have 2 symbols. They have the blue and they have the yellow. The blue is always attack and the yellow is your defense. You also see 2 cards in front of you. On the top is Lloyd's hero and on the bottom is my hero. My hero doesn't have any image yet. So as you can see here, we had to start again, so my cards are slightly different, just because we had a connection issue, but I thought it would be important just to explain about the reshuffling of the cards. So what Lloyd is explaining here is once you've got your 3 cards, there's a prep phase. So what you do is you place your cards down in front of you for your attack. Now I didn't realize this at the start, and I just placed down 1 card, and once I've done that, basically you draw up to 3 cards. So after each prep phase you want to draw up to 3. I think I do mess this up a little bit just because I don't think it was fully explained. I think there's a point when I actually play a card during my main phase and I still draw up to 3. So that would just have to be confirmed next time when we play. So as you can see here, Lloyd has an attack card of 1 and a defense card of 1, but on the field I have a defense card of 2. So what he did is he tried to attack the card and then put it on its side. I don't know if... I'm pretty sure that was just to show me that once a card is attacked, when you attack your card you just turn to its side, just to show that it's in its reloading phase. However, I think later in the match we decide obviously that tactic, it's not needed. It's just to show at the start that you would just basically not fire because you couldn't basically take anything off the board. So that was just done just to show me. As you can see here, I've got 1 tank on the board, but I've also got a special ability card that does 2 attack, but then I have to discard it straight away. So what I do is I play that card first to attack Lloyd's army, which is just one person who's got a defense of 1, and I'm able to do destroy that card and do 1 attack to his health points. I didn't mention that at the start, but each hero has 10 health points. I believe he's going to increase that over time, but as I explained before, it's good to just have a closed loop when you first start playing, and then obviously you can make it more complex. So I've attacked that card with the ability card, and then he discards it. Well, I'm discarding that first, and then he discards his card, and then he's now on to 9 HP, and then I use the remaining. I use my tank basically now to do 2 attack directly to his hero, bringing his HP down to 7. So after I've attacked Lloyd with my army on my side, on my tank, and I've destroyed him, you then have to, like he showed me previously, you have to put your character or your army unit 90 degrees, just so that it's in its reloading phase, and that takes 1 turn to do. So in the next phase, when I put down cards, I can't use that card, but I will be able to use it afterwards. What I also do is I ask him if I should draw up to 3, but I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be drawing, because that's not really fair, because I've already drawn up to 3 in the prep phase, and then I've drawn again now because I had ability card, so they should be a double sword, but we'll try to sort that out next time when we play. So now we are in the next prep phase, and Lloyd has just drawn and placed a very powerful card on his side, which is done 3 attack and 2 defense. So I'm a bit worried at this stage, and he's now basically got 2 cards on the board to attack, while my tank is still reloading. But I also had to draw 3 cards, which I did previously, and I placed down a tank and a mortar for people, or artillery. What I also do is I also try to place down another infantryman, but Lloyd tells me that it's only limited to 3. Basically you only get 3 units on the board, so I basically put it back in my hand. Again, this is a really nice mechanic, because if the game goes really well and you know it plays nicely, you can easily add that on to having another unit on the board, or having cards that will allow you to have more units on the board. So you can easily see the progression there. So Lloyd has just logged off after I've just asked a question, but that's just connection issues. But when he's able to log back in, he's able to get his microphone to work and able to answer. I've left all this footage, next footage, all in, just because it's a good way to show the type of questions that I ask and the answers, and also the flow of the game.
Hello. Oh, good. My microphone actually does work.
Oh, your mic does work. Is that you, Lloyd?
Hey, excellent. Yeah, it does work. Excellent.
Oh, okay.
Hey, hello. You finally heard my voice. Oh, my game froze again. Yeah, I can't. It won't let me type, so I'll have to speak as best I can.
That's fine.
We're all for voices here.
Yeah. All right. So as I was trying to save the last 3 times in a row,
yeah.
When you have a card on its side, you can't attack until the next turn, because it's the reload phase, you could say, for it.
So on this go now, even though I have 3 cards on the board,
I can only attack with 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Right. So I think I'm in the attack phase now. So I'm going to attack with this one first. So I've done 3 damage to. I will do 3 damage to this one here.
Okay, so that was 1. So that was 1 defense. So you do 2 damage to my health, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on 8 now.
Right. And then obviously that card there would be in your discard pile since I
So that's
destroyed
fine.
it.
Put it on the discard. Yeah.
And I will then attack with this one. Oops, wrong one again. Which does 2 damage. So that one will knock out this tank.
Okay, cool. So yeah, okay. So you don't do no damage to my health, but it basically destroys it.
Yes.
Perfect.
And
okay, that's fine.
you can only do damage to a hero when you have no cards in front of it. So I still can't attack your hero unless I get rid of this tank on its side.
Ah, I see. Okay, so it's always focused on your cards in front, and then you can or unless there's a difference, right? Like you did before. Like so I'm already down to 8 because there was a difference of 1, wasn't there?
Yeah, so the attack would continue to the next card until there's no cards left in front of the hero.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's fine. Cool. All right then. Yeah. All right then. So you've done that. I literally can't do anything. So I guess I skip my go, right?
Yep. You skip your go.
So
and we go back to the prep phase.
We go back to the prep phase now. Okay. I'm going to place. I guess we could do this at the same time. It doesn't really matter if we do it one at a go, right?
Yeah, we do it at the same time. Yeah.
So we can do that. So for the infiltrament, they don't have attack, and they don't have the shield, or they don't have the thing, but they do the same thing. Is that just because, like I said, you haven't implemented that yet, or do they do something else as well?
I'm working on another set of cards, more advanced than this one.
Yeah.
And for example, there are many different types of infantry, but there are like slightly better ones, and they'll have for example, one of the cards I have is like this one here, except when it's turned on its side, has a special ability, which then means it can stun 2 of your opponent's cards, which means they effectively are in the reload phase. They can't do anything.
Okay. I assume I can flip this card now because it's finished reloading, right?
It's reloaded, so now I can attack again.
Come on. Oh, no. 180.
If you press Q and E, I think it rotates for you.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay. Let's do that. Oh, yeah. Perfect. And that one is like that. Okay, cool. So I guess, so what card have you got there? You've got a 2 and a 1. Oh, okay. I guess there's no point attacking a card that's got higher defense because that would it doesn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, and so it's your go first. So what do you choose to?
I can only attack with this card, but I do have this card, which means that I can effectively revive an infantry unit and place it back into my hand. So I'm going to take the card that you killed earlier on and put it back into my hand.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, so just like the attack and discard card, that's something similar, right?
Yeah.
So those cards you can play as many as those as you want, as long as, because they're not really counting as part of your army, I guess.
No, they're not. So once I've used the ability, it goes straight into the discard pile.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. So were you going to? I assume you're going to attack.
Oh yeah, I'm going to attack. Yeah, so I can only attack with this unit because the other 2 are in reload phase. So I'm going to I can do 2 damage. I might as well knock out one of these 2 tanks, I guess.
Okay, which one do you want to knock out?
The middle one, I guess.
Okay, cool. So that's 2 and 2. So this gets discarded, and then obviously your card gets into the reload phase. Yeah. Perfect. All right then, and then it's my go. So I only have 3 cards. So I have to look. So this one. Okay, that's interesting. So I definitely want to get rid of, where is it? Yeah, I definitely want to get rid of this card. So I'm going to use this card here to get rid of your tank that does free attack, because that's quite dangerous. So I'm going to do that one for that one.
Right, so this one is destroyed, so it goes in the discard pile.
And then I can't, oh no, I can attack with my normal people, and I'm going to attack your rocket launchers.
All right.
So that's got 1, and then I'll put that there.
Comes into the discard pile as well.
I can't put anything else on the board, so that's fine. And that ends my go. So I guess we're now into prep phase again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can't draw any more cards, so I'm going to prep him.
Put this one down and this one down. I forgot to mention as well. So both of our decks have got, well, they had 20 cards total.
Yeah.
So obviously, if we run out of cards in the deck, then it's an automatic loss. So whoever runs out the cards first is, because they can't really use any cards to defend their hero.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask, as I say, is there a way for me to draw more cards? But I guess if you're drawing more cards to me, then that's still there's a benefit, but there's a downside as well.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that's fair enough.
Which is why, like, for example, this. Whoops. Wow. Like, for example, this card is really important because it brings back a card essentially from your discard pile into your hand, so you can use it again. So that's why.
Can you still use that card and then have 4 cards in your hand?
No, you couldn't. Well, you could, I suppose, but you won't be able to use it until the next turn, could you?
Okay, so that's the only time when you would have more than 3 cards in your hand, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually on 10 cards and you've got 11. So or have you not? No, you've got 3. So yeah, for some. Okay, fair enough. So I've got 3. Okay, so I've done my prep phase, so it's now your attack phase.
All right. Okay. So immediately I'm going to use this. So I've done 2 damage to any one of these cards. I'm going to damage this one.
Okay.
So this one is in the discard pile. Oh.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, sorry. I think I took your.
You grabbed one of mine. Yeah. I don't know how that worked.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm going to attack with this one on this unit here.
So you've got one. Yeah. So this guy goes away. Yeah. Fair enough. He's dead.
And this one on this one.
Cool. And then he's dead, is he? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Oh, and this one is done reloading, so he's back on the attack. But he can't attack this turn though until the next one. So.
Oh, because he was because he
was reloading. Yeah.
Okay. I literally can't do anything, so I go straight to prep phase.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to put all my people down for my prep phase because that's all good. And then I'm going to redraw 3. Oh, wow, that's a really good card.
Yeah, some cards I have intentionally made to be more powerful than anyone else's because they're really.
I assume there's only one of those in the deck, right?
There's going to be 3 of the powerful cards. For example, you've seen one of my powerful cards, which is this one, the 3 and the 2.
Yeah.
So I'm planning on adding more nations like the British and the French and the Russians and so on and so forth. So every nation will have their own unique cards.
Just out of interest, I've got a card. I'll just say because you've done them all, which has got 5 defense. Are you able to chip away at defense, or if you're not able to do it, like it still stays at 5?
Yeah, I'm able to chip away at the defense, or I could combine. Say, for example, if I had one of these cards in my hand, I could use that in combination with one of these to knock it out.
So so it only chips away during that turn. It doesn't. The chip away. They don't sort of. It doesn't. If you chip it down to 2, it doesn't sort of stay until 2 until the next phase. It goes back up to 5, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, there's some games that like that. That's fine. All right, cool. So I guess your attack phase now, right?
Right. Yeah. So I can only really attack with 1 card. So I'll attack with this one. Oops, wrong button. Attack with this one. That's a 2. Yep. And I'm going to use it on this one here.
So that one was a 1. Okay. So I am on. What was I on 8? So I'm on 7 now.
Yep. And that's all I can do. So.
You can't do anything else, can you?
Nope, because they're all reloading.
Yeah. Okay. So my attack phase. So the only thing I can do is. I think all the rest have got 2. Oh no, I've got 1 there, 2 there. Okay, so I'll use. So basically, I use my two people here.
Yeah.
To attack each one of these cards. So I attack one on left. So they're basically the only cards that I can attack. So I'll attack those 2. Yeah.
Right. So that goes in the discard pile, and so does that.
And then obviously that ends the grow, and then we'll do our prep phase again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm obviously going to use my mega card, which is. So I've got 7, and you've still got. Oh no, you've on 9 now.
I'm still drawing some, so I've got 8.
Okay, cool. So it's not too bad. Okay, cool. Right. So what cards have you got? You've got another 3 and a 2, and you've got a 1. Okay, so you'll go basically.
Right. Well, I'm going to chip away. I'm going to chip away at your big card if I can.
So that's what is that? 3. So 5, 4. Okay, yeah.
So I think that's all I can do though. So I'm gonna have to leave it there. I think.
You said the chip away doesn't continue until the next phase.
Yeah.
So even if you chipped away, it wouldn't matter because it would go back up to 5, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Fair enough.
yeah. Obviously,
Right,
if I had a trump card like the plane, for example, then I could have thrown that down as well and actually destroyed that card.
But surely, Lloyd, you don't flip these cards because they don't attack, right? So then you could use that for because that would be more beneficial, wouldn't it?
Well, if you're saying I'd rather focus on these 2 cards instead.
No, sorry, no. I mean, you could do what you want, but I'm saying if you choose not to attack, there shouldn't be a reloading phase for those cards. So you didn't attack my tank, right?
Right.
Or are you saying that you use your tank to attack my other cards?
I was going to say I would use my tanks to attack your big card, but since it doesn't go through the shield, then it doesn't destroy it. So I've effectively wasted my attack phase on something. Well, on something that I shouldn't have used my attack phase on. It's more that's the tactics of this game. Like there's obviously. I could, for example, if I put them all on reload, then my next attack, all of them will be standing, which means that all 3 of them I could focus instead on the one tank.
Oh, so so I was going to say you've done it as a tactical thing because if you don't attack, it wouldn't go into the reload phase anyway. So yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right then. Yeah, I wasn't sure why you did that, but that's all right. Okay, cool. So my go is. Well, obviously, I'm going to try to get rid of your card, aren't I? So let's try to get rid of that. So I'm going to use my tank, the big tank, to get rid of your discard here.
Right.
Because that's 2. And then you're down to 6, is it?
Yep.
You're on 7, you're on 6 now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So that goes there. That ends... Oh, and I didn't draw cards, but I've done that. Okay. I've got selecting the infantry card and place it back in the hand. I assume that means in a discard pile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, now I'm fine. That ends my go. So we're on prep phase again.
Prep phase again. Yep.
So these people get flipped across, so they reload, but this one doesn't reload.
This one I think is reloaded as well.
Oh, I don't know if I want to do that actually, but I'll stay. Oh, I am not going to like this turn at all. I think you're going to do some big damage.
I think the only thing I can really do, I can't chip away the tank again. So I'm going to have to attack your infantry. But since these do 2 damage per shot, then it'd be 2 damage to your hero plus removing of these 2 cards.
Oh yeah, so these do 2, don't they? So what was I on? I was on 7, so 6, 5. So I'm on 5 now.
Right. Yeah, you're on 5. I'm on 6.
And then
I should really get a counter for the hero.
Get discarded.
Yep.
Okay. Oh. Okay. I can't do anything on my attack phase, so we just go straight to prep, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to put him down. And then I'm going to use that card just to take a infantryman and put him back into my hand.
Rightio.
So I'll do that. And then I'm going to draw 2 additional cards because I have to be careful of my how many deck I've got. I've only got 4 and you've got 7.
7.
I think I might lose with my deck.
I do. Well, that is until you get 2 more of these badass tanks.
Yeah, and then I guess
3 in the deck.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So have you done your prep phase yet? Yeah, you have.
Yep.
Yeah. So you go first then.
Yeah, the only thing I can do is attack with this card. So one of these 2, the middle one is dead.
Okay, cool. He's dead. He's gone.
And that's all I can do. So.
Okay. Or I might as well do the same. I'll use this guy to attack your other infantryman.
All right, cool. And this one's dead.
Then we go to prep phase again.
Yep. Your tank should be reloaded as well as mine.
Yeah, so my tank is reloaded. And I'm also... Sorry, Lloyd, I'm going to place this card. So
No, I knew it.
give it to me, so it's not my game, dude.
I knew it. I knew this would happen.
So I've played that down. So I'm going to draw one card, but I'm really scared now because I'm already down to 3 cards. So, and you've got 7. I don't know how you've got 7, but you know.
It's because I've been focusing on your cards rather than your hero.
Yeah.
I've been whittling you down.
Yeah, you have, yeah. Okay, cool. So you go first.
Right, well, I can attack with these 2.
So what does that do? That does 2. So you've got a total damage of 4.
Actually, no, I'm not going to attack with this one. I'm just going to attack with just the 1.
Okay. So I assume you're going to get rid of him, right?
Yeah, get rid of him, yeah. And then 1 damage to your hero.
So I'm on 4 now, right? Yep.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything else?
Nope, I'm just going to keep that 1 tank there. I'm not going to bother shooting with him because I don't want him to go into the reload phase.
I will... Well, I might as well attack both of my tanks and attack at both of these players, both of your tanks, and do 2 damage each, 1 damage each. Well, obviously a total of 2.
Right.
And destroy them.
So these
both of these do 3, and your defense is 2. So what you were on? You were on. Were you on 6 or you on 7?
I was on 5 actually.
You're on 5. So okay, for 3. So you're on 3. I'm on 4. So interesting. See how we're going. Okay. So
don't forget to flip these.
Oh yeah. So flip the Sorry, my flip the cards. Yeah.
Right. I'm going to place all of my cards down for this last attack, and pick up the 3. Oops.
Well, you've got 4 cards. I've got 3 cards. Oh, actually, I'm all right. Actually, prep card. Oh yeah. So I need to. Oh, I'm gonna have to put this card down. All right, then that's fine. And I'll just draw. I'll draw 1 card. Okay, cool. Ooh.
Right. So what I could do now for my attack is I could either, for example, I could do this. I could focus them all on this tank, which would destroy it, and all the remaining damage would go to your hero. Or I could perhaps instead focus on one of your big boy tanks, one of your big boy cards.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you do 1, so that's a so 2, so that's 4. Oh, okay, so you do 5, and then okay, 3, and I'm on. Am I on 4 free life?
You're on 4, I think.
So that would be good. So I would go down to 1 health.
Yeah.
So that would be quite useful actually.
Yeah, which is what I think I will do.
Okay, cool.
Leaving your big boy cards for the time being.
So he's gone, and I'm down to 1 health. So cool. All right, then. That's not so good. These cards are not reloaded yet, so that's not good. So I can't do anything.
Right.
And so we're back onto prep phase now, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so...
I can't do anything because I got 3 cards in my hand and 3 on the board, so...
So I'm going to do that.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm going to draw my last card. Okay. So let's have a look. Well, what I might as well do is I might use the same tactic. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all on 1 card. Which
would then go all the way to my hero, which I think...
Yeah, and then I'll just use the remaining for your health. Yeah.
Yep, which would kill me. So there we go. Cool. My hero is, at that point, dead.
Oh, cool. All right, then.
So that means you've won the game.
Well, okay, we've done that. Okay, cool. So let's go through the game. So what do I really like? Well, to be honest, I love the mechanics. I think it's very simple. I quite like the fact that that your army is really limited to 3. I think that's I assume you could easily increase that. Like maybe there's a card that increases it to 4 or something. That would be quite cool, but that's fine. Quite like that. Definitely have a counter. I would say have a counter just because it'll be easy just to
Keep
manage.
track of your health points.
But that's easy to do. What do I not like about the game? Trying to think. What did I not like about the game? Not much I didn't like about the game, if I'm honest. I think maybe. I think comparing to the two cards, can I see the rest of your cards? I assume because we've finished the game now. So let's have a look. So I assume your most powerful card was this card here, right?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, oh no, because I was going to say my defense is too high, but I guess at the same time,
if I had two
of these cards, you could have easily killed me, which you kind of do have, but you was just luck of the draw.
Yeah. What I've also done as well is I've already done 2 nations so far, but I really do plan to have more nations and have them more diverse. So, for example, even though you've only got 3 of these total, I might instead have 4 of these in my deck total.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. So even though you'd have a high defense, but you would have a more chance to potentially kill him. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And then, for example, one of your cards, for example, your infantry card, this one here can revive an infantry card, right?
Yeah.
I've made it so that this is not an infantry card, but the equivalent is this one. So, for example, my healing card can heal either this infantry or this infantry, but you only got the option of healing just the one type.
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm trying to diversify the whole game to make every nation different.
Yeah.
And enjoyable.
You could have, the heal 1 infantry, and you place it back into your hand. You could place it into the deck and shuffle the deck.
Oh, that could work as well. Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're taking it out of a battlefield, that could be then a reinforcement card for your main deck. So your cards not going down as quick as your enemy's taking them.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, to be honest, and I was thinking about the timing as well. Regardless, we had issues with you like logging off and stuff. I think it only really took, say, 20 to 30 minutes anyway. So, and you could probably play it within 15 minutes as now that we know the rules. So, in terms of your time frame, you're dead on the money for that. So it's really good. I'm still trying to think of what I disliked. I'm sure there's probably little nitpicks, but I probably have to play the game a few more times. So
yeah.
But I'll be honest, I'm really impressed. I really like the game. It's super simple, but at the same time, it's got loads of strategy to it, which is really, really good. I think it will be amazing. So, just a question in terms of teams. So you have two countries, obviously going against 2 other ones, right? So you can choose who you want to hit. So I think that would be really good if we have more players. So I guess what would be really nice is if we do maybe next week or something, if you could do 2 more nations, and Dan it could be me or Dan or you or Dan, and then the third person, if it's free again, hopefully it's not free, they could be 2 nations, just to see what it would look like, because I'd be quite interested to see how more players would play, and that might showcase more problems, or it might just be like, oh, this is even more fun.
I think it might. Honestly, I'm thinking it might be more overwhelming for example, there was 2 of you versus 1 of me. I would feel overwhelmed if I was being attacked by 2 different people at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I would suggest then, maybe there's cards that give you buffs, like it increases your damage per 1 round, or there's like a defense thing for 1 round. I think I'd probably like that in terms of, I think that's the only thing with the cards. There's not much that I can increase, but then I guess at the same time you could still use the cards to go to 1 card. You attack 1 card. Yeah. So that would kind of be a buff. So again, that would be my only thing that I don't like that there's not. I was thinking there'll be more buffs like in like the Yu-Gi-Oh game, but honestly,
I'm working on it. There's gonna be more buffs.
To be honest, I'm I'm really impressed.
But
I think it requires more play testing, but that's because I just want to play the game again, to be honest, which is really good in the game.
This is all just phase A stuff. Like you said, keep it simple. So
you've done really well there. You've done really well. I'm really impressed. You've kept it simple. You could definitely increase the phase and see what it's like. Just out of interest, before we finish up today, what was phase one? What was your phase one?
Phase one was going to be just, for example, I think it was going to be just either, where was it? It was going to be like 3 different types of cards. So, for example, for the Americans, it was going to be just a tank and 2 different types of infantry, and the Germans was going to be the opposite. So it was going to be 2 different types of tanks and 1 type of infantry to start off with. But obviously, I got more ideas and thinking, I could add some ability cards like these 2, for example. And I thought about adding in different types of tanks, different types of infantry, and so on and so forth. And it kind of mixed into phase 1 and 2, if you know what I mean. Because I was going to have way more ability. I was going to have way more different tanks, way more different types of infantry. But I kept it all simple for the time being, and had a base infantry, a base tank, and I had like a little special infantry or a special tank or something like that.
No, I'm dead impressed, Lloyd. I think you should be really proud of what you've done there. You've created a simple, fun, engaging strategic game which you could easily add on to. So yeah, have you been just out of interest? Have you been actually working on this game outside, or have you just been working on the game during the workshops?
Mostly during. I have done a few. I made extra cards. Like when the class would extend, I would be like here for an extra half an hour making more cards. But that's about it really. Mostly on Thursdays.
Where do you get all the images from? Because they look very similar.
Google. Honest to God, Google.
Okay, so is that from a pre-existing game, or because they've got the same art style?
I think it's Airfix models. Okay. And I took the box art and instead made them into cards instead.
No, I'm like that's really good. I guess what you could do next is I'd say keep the design of the cards as they are now because they work. And then when you add another phase on, then you can start improving the cards and refining it a bit more. But that's really good. Also, actually, I will say one thing. You mentioned the heroes at the start. Be interested to see if each hero has an ability. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that was one of the things too. I was gonna have in phase 2 was abilities for the heroes. Yeah. It'd be things like the Americans would get. They could do it like once every 3 turns, but it's like it'd be called like a manpower boost. And they would have more cards in their hand. They could have more to choose from, but it would only work like once every 3 turns.
But what you could do with that, Lloyd, is you could have 3 tokens, and then you could flip the tokens over, and then you can flip them back once a turn. So it's like so it looks like it's recharging.
Right.
Or something like that, or whatever you want. But in terms of or maybe just flipping something, so it indicates to other players that they've already used their ability, and it also because once a lot of stuff happens, certainly when I've played games, you want to be able to keep track. Say the HP, have I used my ability? You've done it well with the attack, putting them to the sides, which is fine. A load of cards do that. So carry on, man. That's really really good.
I'm pasting links in the chat for more this is the type 2 or type B of card I had in mind.
Okay.
And obviously it's got flavor text, and there's some units having a special ability and some don't, which is the red shield. But yeah, that's what phase B. That's what phase 2 or phase B is going to be.
No, that's really good. I'm really impressed with that word. Well. Yeah, what else? What a way to end today's session. I think that's you. 300 more people. We should all give you a round of applause, Lloyd, because that was really, really
Thanks.
Good. Really impressed. It was really good. Should be very proud of that. So next week, I had the idea of just basically carrying on, asking me questions. But to be honest, you've pretty much sorted on what you want to do. So carry on with that. We'll do that next week. We could do more play testing. Like I said, hopefully we have more people because I'd like to see with this. But if not, then if you want to play test during at any point next week, which hopefully you do, because like I said, I think we'd like to play. Maybe even give Dan a go because I think Dan's got more strategy than me. If I'm honest, he's expert. But
I wish.
we'll do 2 players, and then we'll improve a bit more, and that'd be quite good. So if you're happy to do that, we'll leave it for today, and we'll see you next week. Is that cool?
All right. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Perfect. All right.